3, 2, 1.
Please stand by for further details. We return you now to your regularly scheduled program.
Hello to those of you who are feeling called to this reading, in particular, mystery reading number 1081. My name is Elizabeth, and before getting into this reading, if you are a recurring viewer, you enjoy my work, and you would like to help support it, feel free to do so by sticking around and hitting the subscribe button down below and ringing the notification bell next to it if you feel called to. And if you do feel called to subscribe and stick around, welcome, and thank you very much for your support as well as your presence during this reading. I just saw the number 123 on the timer, and this number, if you didn't know already, is a sign to trust that everything happens for a reason. It feels like to start this reading off, someone is being called or encouraged to have more trust and faith in who they are and where they're at in life. There could even be, things from the past that have molded who you are, that may be helpful to have more faith and trust in terms of there being, a reason. Whether you know it, you feel called to create it, to discover it, or just trust it. I really do believe that the experiences that we have in life, we have them for a reason, especially the ones that cause us pain and frustration, or any other negative, heavy feelings. I believe that these feelings are meant to teach us something about ourselves in the world, especially in a spiritual way. Getting into interpreting number 1081, there are two ones in this number, which is about trusting yourself and believing in yourself some way, somehow. This is a call for you to have more faith and trust in your intuition and your own strength, your ability to see and persevere. Moving on to the number 0, this can be about recurring themes or patterns in the form of spiritual communication through signs or symbols, etc., or in your experiences. I definitely feel that there could be someone here who has experienced patterned themes or ideas in their past. And it feels important for you to pay attention to these patterns or themes so you can understand them, especially the spiritual side of them. No matter where these patterns or themes are coming from, these recurring themes, this is confirmation or guidance for you to pay attention to them. The number 0 can also be a reminder or guidance or confirmation to know when to put yourself first, when to respect and value the relationship and the connection with yourself, your younger self, your higher self, just all of who you are. Just know when to put yourself first. Know when to be selfish and when to be generous, when to give, when to take. For somebody, this could be something that you're actually being called to learn, how to balance give and take. I think collectively we all are still trying to at least a lot of us are still trying to understand what a healthy balance between give and take actually is. And on the bright side, a lot of us as well have already learned this. That's what I believe anyway. Moving on to the number 8, it is about loss and trusting that whatever is lost will be replaced. This is just a message that whoever or whatever you feel called to walk away from or let go of, trust that it or they will be replaced. And it doesn't have to be in a materialistic sense, just so that you can hope and have something or someone in the future to look forward to. It's only the end of a certain road, or many certain roads, if you choose for it to be so. The last number, well no, we already did talk about the number 1, so I'll just let you know again to trust yourself, believe in yourself, your intuition, and your strength, your ability to see and to persevere. Really pay attention to these signs, messages, the experiences that you've had, and what they're trying to tell you, teach you, show you, guide you. For somebody in particular, it could be all about self-love and learning and knowing how and when to choose yourself, when it's okay to do that, when it's okay to be a little more selfish and, not feel dirty for it. I personally see the word selfish as a neutral word on its own, but I think it's easy for it to have a really negative connotation just because, I just think collectively we don't like too much selfishness, because we understand the damage that it does to everybody involved. Trust and believe in your ability to let go, find peace, move on, and have hope. Adding up these numbers, 1 plus 0 is 1, plus 8 is 9, plus 1 is 10. The number 10 itself is a message about the presence of your spirit guides. And then 1 plus 0 is 1, and we've already clearly established that number is about trusting and believing in yourself. And so I really feel that your spirit guides are reinforcing and encouraging that message to trust your intuition and believe in your strength, your ability to see, and your ability to persevere. So there are clearly 3 different decks on the table right now. This is the Magical Dogs Tarot, and this is the Nightmare Before Christmas Tarot. Each deck of tarot cards are the 22 major arcana cards from each deck, and the major arcanas are more about bigger ideas, bigger themes, and more long-term ideas or themes. And in the middle here I have playing cards which resemble the other 50 or so minor tarot cards that the playing cards reflect these cards. The only difference is these playing cards do not have pages, since there's only kings, queens, and jacks. And I will use this to get more detail into these 2 major themes. So let's go ahead and start with the Magical Dogs Tarot here to see what first major theme wants to come through. I forgot to mention that the Magical Dogs Tarot is going to be used for the light in a situation, or a light aspect that really needs to be focused on. And then these ones here from the Nightmare Before Christmas Tarot are going to be used for the darker aspects, the darker, larger themes in your life, or that needs to, I guess, come to light in a funny way to say it. So let's go ahead and see what major positive theme needs to come through. I really like that this card came out. We have the High Priestess, and it is indeed upright. The High Priestess has the number 2 on it. The number 2 can be confirmation of a significant situation or relationship on your mind that may have, come up while watching this video or this reading so far. The number 2 can also be guidance or confirmation for you to, really prioritize what means the most to you, including creating and protecting more balance and peace within yourself. The High Priestess card itself is about your intuition. Really trusting and listening to your inner voice, your inner compass, respecting your own morals and values. What is your intuition trying to tell you? What are these signs, these symbols, these patterns that you either are picking up on right now or have the potential to really see if you let yourself explore and pay attention enough? Just saw the number 222 on the timer. More confirmation there of a significant relationship or situation on your mind that you could be seeing signs, messages, symbols about, or that you've had some patterned experiences with. Maybe there's a need here to put yourself first, or to really just communicate how you're feeling. At the very least, I do think that there is something that you gotta let go of, walk away from, and it could really be anything. It could be on the inside of you, on the outside, a certain way of thinking, feeling, believing, or in terms of the outside, saying or doing, the way that you express yourself. There could need to be a change in the way that you express yourself, inside and out. The way that you process your own thoughts and feelings. I just saw the number 321, another sign to trust that everything happens for a reason. I think change needs to happen inside and or out for a reason. And I feel like it's a change that you deserve, because it does create more peace, more balance within yourself and in your life. And ultimately allows you to actually, prioritize what means the most to you, and maybe even have more control over your own decisions. Let's go ahead and get this other major theme from the Nightmare Before Christmas Tarot, the darker side of a major theme or idea that you could be dealing with. And we'll compare it to the High Priestess here. The High Priestess is actually interesting to come out for, the part where I put more focus on the light, because I often like to see the High Priestess card and the Moon card kind of together. And the Moon card is about being in a dark situation. There's unknown, it can be scary, but your intuition lights the way. And, pulling a card from the dark right now, it's really interesting to me. So let's see what wants to come through. Okay, so I have the Wheel of Fortune. This card has the number 10 on it, so again, your spirit guides really want you to know that they are here and present with you, ready to support you, especially when it comes to your intuition and trusting yourself. really pay attention to how the universe or whatever higher power you believe in is trying to communicate with you to help you trust and believe in yourself more, especially because, as we said, 1 plus 0 is 1. And we've already been very clear about what that number means so far. This card says, at least in the upright, it says fate, good karma, out of our control, big move. In the reverse, it says bad karma, no hope, fear, and control. This is upright though. And we did say, this card is from the darkness. And the Wheel of Fortune doesn't really seem like a negative card, does it? I feel like the darkness lies. It's not something that feels overbearing. But it might create a little bit of frustration. Maybe there's a little bit here you don't know that you don't like, or there could be a lot, because the Wheel of Fortune can definitely be about fate in terms of a major change that was always meant to happen. Somehow your intuition is connected to this, lighting the way for yourself to eventually undergoing this major, definitely positive kind of change. Trust and believe in your ability to bring yourself better outcomes, better luck, better karma, whatever you believe in. I'm going to go ahead and draw out one of these playing cards here. What detail could be very helpful with these two cards? Maybe even help me better see the connection between the two. This is where the darkness comes out, I feel like. And the frustration makes a lot of sense. We have the 9 of Clubs in reverse, or it's the 9 of Wands. And at the top there it says exhausted. The other way it says strong and perseverance. I did mention the 9 of Wands in one of the last 2 readings. I'm not sure which one. That could be confirmation that this reading here is meant for you. The number 9 is about purpose and helping the world release what no longer works. It definitely is very clear here that you have been working hard on something for a very long time, and the frustration comes from impatience and maybe even struggling to maintain faith and hope a little bit. So make sure that you are getting the rest, the meditation that you need, so you can not only, re-energize yourself so you can keep going, but also really hear what your inner voice, your intuition is trying to say. Whenever you feel so frustrated and overwhelmed, just take a step back, breathe a little bit, maybe meditate a little bit, and remember what your intuition, how far your intuition has gotten you to this point. I do think you could have been getting signs and messages, spiritual communication, to help you, trust and believe that you are indeed, in fact, on the right path. It really does feel like the light in this situation is trusting and believing in yourself that this good fortune, this good luck, this fate, positive fate, it's coming, it's on the way. And it's very important to, make sure there's a good work-life balance, or productivity versus fun balance. Don't burn yourself out. Especially if you're going to be working on something for a long time, it is, in my opinion, better to make more time for rest rather than to keep going and going and going. Because I feel like you really run out of steam and motivation and inspiration when you don't give yourself time and space to rest and have fun. This actually reminds me of the last reading a little bit. This reminds me of the last reading a little bit, because I pulled an Ancestor Spirit Oracle card that said, laugh and have fun. And the person was going through something difficult, and given that both of these are major arcanas, this is definitely not something that is easy. whatever you are working on and really putting your faith and your trust into. I really feel like the best thing that you can do for yourself, like I've been saying, know when to rest and when to reconnect with your intuition and your why. Why are you doing this? What's your main motivation, your main inspiration? For me personally, I already have a pretty good, at least it seems like it, I feel like I have reached a pretty good balance between work and play. But still, even with the balance, sometimes it can be hard to, stay focused and to keep working and to keep enduring the mundane. But what I find helps me often, if not every time, is remembering why I'm doing this in the first place. Because even though it can be difficult for me to get through my day sometimes, by the time the end of the day, I always feel so satisfied and happy with the work that I have done. So remember that when you do feel this frustration, the overwhelming negativity, really tempted to not have faith, to feel hopeless, remember that these feelings are temporary. And you are responding to something that makes you uncomfortable. And it might be helpful to really reflect on this discomfort. And honestly, I really feel like it's going to come down to self-doubt or not having faith in the universe to co-create with you and to meet you halfway or help make things happen for you. So like I've been saying, don't burn yourself out and slow down and reconnect with yourself when you're really feeling disconnected from your why, your inspiration, your motivation. Because this really does feel like it's as long as you stay the course. I don't think you will be disappointed.